Yeah. Hey,
You mean you don't want me on another IA?
those two don't,
Okay, I'm just gonna sit over here, because claustrophobia for me right now is, gotta make me have to walk outside.
Please come to order. Time is 4:30. Roll call. Ms. Prindle.
Here.
Ms. Stoops.
Here.
Materials here. Okay, stand for the pledge, please. Ready? Begin.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Oh, made a mistake. I'm going to call it to order. Now we'll do roll call. Ms. Prindle, you're here. Ms. Stoops and Ontario. Public comments. Do you have any public comments?
not at this time.
Cool. Okay, reports, updates, and announcements. First one, Commissioner report. Ms. Prindle, you have anything?
None at this time, thank you.
Okay. Ms. Stoops?
Yeah.
Only thing I have is I welcome you to this panel here.
I'm happy to be here.
Yeah, I told you before, hopefully, and if I didn't, I was remiss. I really appreciate all the hard work you gave, especially while I was at DIS and at the high school, with the testing materials and all that sort of stuff. You did an awesome job. Yeah, absolutely right. I know you're going to do an awesome job here. CSEA updates.
That's me.
That's you.
All right, so we do have some concerned members here today, specifically from one area, as it's on the agenda. We have some other concerned members as well in regards to some of the same concerns, timelines, vacancies. Just basically, that is the main concern. In regards to anything else, we have our new member representative on the board tonight, so that's lovely to see her here tonight. We are in the middle of our negotiations still for the 22-23 year, so we're still working through some of those, trying to nail down a new date for both sides of the house to agree upon. Couple of concerns for members that are being handled by our union representatives. With those, nothing that's at any kind of a grievance level or anything to that effect. I think we're good on anything else, so
Super.
thank you.
Thank you. District updates.
Again, yeah, just to piggyback off what Ms. Gonzalez just said, we're in the middle of negotiations. We do have the 27th, but we haven't canceled, so I think that was still on the calendar.
Oh, is that what's?
Yeah,
No?
we canceled I think the 19th, I believe. One of our negotiators was not going to be able to attend, so we're trying to figure that out. But yeah, we're in the middle of that. We've exchanged proposals, and we're looking forward to agreeing on those, and so that the membership could benefit from those agreements.
Cool. Thank you. Director report.
There currently are 2 interviews in process. 2 recruitments are in the testing stage. 1 recruitment is open. There'll be 4 to open next week. We currently have 352 classified employees. Of those, 150 are 8-hour full-time, 96 are the benefited part-time, and 106 are the non-benefited part-time. There's 100 employees that are 12 months and 252 that are less than 12 months. Just to wish a happy birthday to the United States Navy. They are 247 years young today. An update on AB 2045, the banding. That was sent to the inactive file in August and was not sent to the governor for signature, so it is inactive at this point. Also, the 2 staff members, Julie Grounds and Marina Saucedo Cerda, they are attending the CodeStack/Ed Joint Conference down in San Diego this week.
Okay.
That's my report.
Anything else? You may not know this off the top of your head. How many vacancies have we got out in the field as far as classified is concerned, open positions?
I do not have an accurate number today.
Got you, mate. Okay, no problem. Okay, that's it?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Okay, item 6, adopted agenda. Looking for a motion and a second to adopt the agenda as published.
I'd like to, Commissioner Chair, I'd like to move that we proceed to discussion information item 8C.
Mhm.
Nutrition services staffing status.
When we get to that point,
You
Sorry?
want
when we get to that point,
Yes,
move it first.
to, you want
yes.
to, yeah, gotcha. Okay, sounds good. Any other changes? Okay, looking for a motion and a second to adopt the agenda with the change of, looking for a motion. Second?
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
3-0. Okay, administration, item 7, administration of the oath of office to personnel commissioner. Ms. Prindle.
So, as you all know, Ms. Olga Prindle is taking Ms. Renee Grader's spot as an employee appointee. I'd like at this time to swear her into office because up until now, she's not officially been a personnel commissioner. So if you would rise and stand with me. You have this in front of you, I'll be reading it, and you can just raise your right hand and repeat after me. I state your full name.
I, Olga Prindle,
Do solemnly swear or affirm
do solemnly swear
that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States
that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of California
and the Constitution of the State of California
against all enemies, foreign and domestic,
against all enemies, foreign and domestic,
that I will bear true faith and allegiance
that I will bear true faith and allegiance
to the Constitution of the United States
to the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of California,
and the Constitution of the State of California,
that I take this obligation freely
that I take this obligation freely
without any mental reservation
without any mental reservation
or purpose of evasion,
or purpose of evasion,
and that I will well and faithfully
and that I will and
and faithfully
faithfully
discharge the duties
discharge the duties
upon which I am about to enter.
upon which I'm about to enter.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Welcome, Commissioner Freeman.
Good. Okay, discussion information item. First one we'll discuss is nutrition service staffing status.
I received this on Friday from one of the nutrition services staff. I agendized it so that they would have a full item for them to speak to. They've expressed their frustration over the lack of employees and the filling of the vacancies. And I'd like to give them the opportunity to have their say on this item.
Okay.
Who's up?
So anybody want to enlighten us? I mean, I've read this and I'm sure everybody else has read this, but more.
Whatever your frustration.
We can speak our minds.
Oh, yeah.
That's why I agendized
That's
it.
what,
Okay. Well, do I need to stand up or just say
Just
her?
stand up and tell me your name so I
I'm
can.
Constance Stender. I work as a nutrition service worker too at Henderson. And we've been shorthanded, like it says, since COVID-19. And it's been difficult for working as a 3-person job and getting paid the same wage as we're doing the job of 3 people. And there's only 2 people working, or 1 person, depends on if they have subs or no subs, and they're pulling people from other schools. And it's frustrating for everybody, even the main kitchen, all the elementary schools. And we're doing the best we can in a timely manner, but we can't sanitize or disinfect as thoroughly as we would like. And our jobs are getting pushed to the limits. And we're trying to do everything that is required of us, but sometimes we don't even get the job done thoroughly, and we're getting in trouble with higher ups, like, hey, you're not getting this stuff, but we can't get it done. And they're like, well, you need to get it done, or there's not enough time for us to finish our jobs, and we have other jobs to go to, and families, and our frustration is going out of, like, we're stressing out, it's just a little frustrating for me, and I'm sure everyone else.
Sure.
Like, I haven't left my hair, like, this was hiding it, but I was going to school full time, trying to do this job, and it's been stressing everybody out, and I've been stressed out, and everybody's going crazy. I'm trying to keep my emotions under control, but
Appreciate it.
yeah, so that's how I feel. I don't know how everyone else feels, but that's how I'm feeling.
Understand.
But
Thank you. Thank you for your input. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, my name is Maria Hernandez. I'm a food service worker too, but I'm acting as a number 3 because they're vacant. And I've been working for the district for 17 years. And I used to love my job, but I don't like it anymore.
I know.
Because we used to be like more people working around. At the main kitchen, they keep taking everybody out. They only leave 2 people to prep like 3,000 for the next day. It's just too much for us. I'm ending so tired. And I go home, lay down for 3 hours. My husband has to wake me up. Honey, you want to eat? And I say, I'm more tired than hungry, but I will eat because I'm diabetic. Okay, so it's frustrated all this now. And we just need help. We need for you guys to hire more people because the job I'm doing right now, they used to, last year was 4 people doing it. Now it's just me and her, prepping everything, cooking everything, set up the carts, set up everything. And it's like, it's harder and harder every day. I go home without power, without energy. But I love my job, but it's like, we need help. Because like, last week, they only 2 people. They take everybody on our side to stop every single school. One day, 7 people call up. Where do they take the people from? We don't have substitute. They take it from the main kitchen. And we need 2 people in there to do everything. It's just too much for us. It's really too much. I hope you guys are able to do something. Because when my old boss was in here, she used to go inside to the kitchen and help us. Come on, let's do this. And we were like, no, able to do everything. The one is right now acting as our boss. He just come to the kitchen and say, hey, how you guys doing? How you guys doing? Okay, good. Okay, how come you don't come and help us? I know you have something else to do, but we need help. We need to feed the students. If me and her don't show up, or 3 people don't show up on the kitchen, who's gonna serve the students? Nobody. I understand that everything takes a process to do all this, but it's just frustrating. That's my concern. That's all I want you guys to know, and maybe you guys are able to do something for us. We really need help.
Thanks for your input. One question, which side are you at?
Nutrition service
So
department,
you're
main
at
kitchen.
the main kitchen. Okay. And you, ma'am, you were at Henderson, right?
Yes.
Gotcha, okay. Someone else?
I'm gonna have a little hard time talking because I hardly say anything. But, I'm the kind of person that,
I need your name and where you're at.
Deborah Sanders, Crestline,
Thank you.
Thank you.
food worker 2. At Crestline, I have a new partner, and because we kind of think alike, we just make do with just us 2 being at Crestline when it's really a 3 people supposed to be there. So after breakfast, no one asked us to do it. No one, and we've never even told anyone. We just stayed from breakfast to lunch, and we get everything prepared. So at lunchtime, we can just start in. We don't have to we don't have to prepare anything. We're ready when the kids come. But normally we would need a third person to do that, but we don't have them. And there's a lot of times after work, we find ourselves going over it. No, it's not a lot of times. There's times we go over 15, 20 minutes. Sometimes we call and see if it's, and get it approved, and sometimes we just stay and say, oh, well. But that's it.
Because you guys are doing the work of 3 people.
Yeah.
And there's only 2 of you. Yes.
Yeah, I got that.
Thank you, ma'am. Somebody else?
Yeah. That's what she wants. Stand up and talk.
Yes, ma'am.
My name is Tammy Trujillo. It's actually Tamara legally, but I work at the Nutrition Service Center in the office as an office assistant. And as Maria was speaking of taking from the kitchen and leaving them shorthanded, I can explain that if you need me to. It's because, like she said, there's so many people calling off at the outlying schools. We're all here to feed the kids. That's what our job is. But when you have 18 vacancies, and now it's going to be 20 because one person resigned and one is leaving to go to another job in the district, a full-time job, and you can't blame them. So now we're down to 20 vacancies. And the high school will now have 4 people instead of 5 people. And now we have one elementary school that has no permanent workers, none, 0. So what she's talking about is we have to pull from in there to go to those schools to feed the kids because somebody has to feed them. I've been in fine arts feeding kids. Tammy's been in fine arts feeding kids. I mean, we all do what we have to do because that's our purpose, but everybody's worn out. They're just exhausted. And it's not fair. It feels like we don't matter. That's what it feels like we don't matter.
I felt that all the time. What?
What else you guys want me to say? I don't care.
I'm the other Tammy down there at Nutrition Service Center, okay? I'm a food service worker too, and Dittman, sorry.
Tammy, you're filling in these 2 days once when Stanley and Tammy are out, right?
Yeah, and Stanley's back, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's frustrating to hear how these girls, I feel their frustration, I know their frustration, been through that, and it's not right. And I know what Maria's saying. It's gonna end up to where these women are gonna call off and say, I need a mental day, and we're gonna have nobody. We have how many subs?
We had 2. No, we had 2, and one recently just started this week. So now we have 3,
2 should have started this week.
but only one is working. That's the only one that Ashley could get a hold of is one. And that's not her fault. She does the best that she can to help us out too. But I forgot what I was gonna say.
We started off working at Fine Arts when this other person decided to start calling off and stuff. Stanley was in there, she was in there, I was in there, and then Hattie was able to come, our other sub. I've been in there all week doing it, and I can't get my stuff done because I'm doing that job. You know, it's all we need is bodies to help. And like what Deborah is saying, I used to do this when I was over at Montera and Lenwood. I would stay in between breakfast and lunch and get stuff done because I didn't have time to do it beforehand or during that time. So my heart breaks for her. We're tired and it's frustrating. My heart breaks for all these women. Our custodian, he's busy too. And we don't have him. We end up having to do stuff. And that's not fair to us. And it's not fair to him to feel like, oh my God, all these girls are going to have to do all this stuff because I can't come in. He can't help but be sick or if he's got a family emergency or whatever. We feel guilty calling out. No one in the kitchen will call off because we know that will affect everything. So.
And we are a custodian too when he's not there. We
Exactly.
have to take the trial, we have to sleep.
Because we don't have a
So it's like-
substitute to come in for him. So, No, we don't.
He doesn't take a lot of days off.
No, he doesn't, no.
No, I know.
I'm not saying.
Because he
I'm not
covered
saying
for
he
the
do.
custodian, when he was at Fine Arts, he covered when the custodian would.
Yes,
Right.
exactly. And he was kind enough to come in
I know.
and do that. I love Matt. I am
Exactly.
so glad he's there.
No.
He is awesome.
Makes me wonder who the custodian is at Fine Arts now.
You wanna know?
Nope,
No,
nope,
please keep
no.
that confidential. We'll keep that confidential.
Anyway, Matt has also, since he has been with us, when we were short drivers to deliver the food,
Right.
worked at a
Worked out
class
yes.
and helped the driver because we had no subs for that either. Because if the driver doesn't have anybody to help them, they can't deliver to all 10, 11 schools by themselves.
And those cars are heavy.
And we feel that we aren't appreciated. We've never had a back to school thing over there at the high school. We all came together, sat up there with our group. Custodians weren't welcome back.
Not
Food service wasn't welcome back. It was all about the teachers. So how do you think we feel? Underappreciated, right?
Of course.
Like we're the bottom of the barrel. We felt that way for years because no one cares about us. We bust our ass. We're there taking care of these kids every single day. None of you will come up there. No one from up here will come down there and help. So do you understand? I can go on and on. I'm just.
I have a question. Before you,
No, go ahead.
day one, when school opened, how was it manning wise? Were you way short at the beginning, first day of the school
Yeah.
year?
Oh, yeah.
You were short. So
Yeah.
it isn't something that's, after school started, now I got people that shum out of here. They were already short at the beginning.
Mr. Notario, I have to tell you, sorry to interrupt. When we had a director, when Janice was here, okay? The people weren't calling off like they were now.
No.
Once Janice left, it's like everybody started calling off. And there's 10, 11,
14.
12, whatever people, like there's a minimum of a 7 a day that call off.
Right.
And
And-
all our people.
I feel bad. I don't work in the kitchen, but these are my coworkers. I feel bad for them.
Sure.
And I feel bad when I have to go to the kitchen and tell them, can one of you guys please go work at Crestline today? Sorry, Deborah.
No.
It's not really Deborah, but, you know, it's hard because they're tired already and then I just put more on top of them.
I hear you.
I have a
Thank you.
question too. Well, this just didn't happen yesterday.
No, it did not,
In this day and age, there are many reasons for that.
right?
Because Director Jewell just got this information, I'd like for her to come back hopefully next month and give us a whole, what's going on. But right now, I'd like to know if you could tell us how this sub situation is, and are you gonna test, are you in the process?
Every test we do, every test we run, one of the first things before we even start the test, we ask all those people, they give them a form, and it's not just nutrition services, it's paras, custodians. Do you want to sub? If you want to sub, fill out this form. So as soon as we get the test results, we already know who from that group wants to sub. And we start calling them to get them in, to get them onboarded so we can sub. We just certified 2 nutrition services workers Tuesday. And I specifically told Maria, call them and make sure they know they can start working tomorrow, Wednesday. So nutrition services has people. Apparently only 1 contacted you guys.
Ashley got a hold of one and she did go to work, yes.
Okay, so the other one did not.
No,
Okay,
Ashley hasn't been able to get a hold of her, she said.
and that's part of the problem.
Right, but I have another question. I know we all have to do, what's that called?
Double duty?
No,
Triple duty?
it's on the computer, those things we have to do.
Other trainings?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Target
Sorry.
solutions.
Thank you.
Target solutions.
Yeah, well, I always say called Target Solution. Well, one of the girls she's been calling and calling since school started about working. And she's come up here because she does volunteer too. She was fingerprinted already. She had her TB test already. and she was all ready to go to work, but she lives near me, that's why I know her. I fed her as a student, and she didn't get her target solutions finished because she was having difficulties, and I don't know who she tried to call, but she never got a return call, so she didn't get them finished, so she didn't get to go to board. Though she wants to work, but she didn't finish the target solution, so she can't go to board and work.
Can you have her email me or call me or?
I think somebody took care of it, because I did speak to somebody.
Okay.
But I think they were gonna help her, whoever it was.
Out of my office or somewhere else?
I think they put her in contact with Deidre.
That would be my next choice.
In saying this again, I hate for you guys to have to go another month like this. I mean, obviously, you're dog tired, you know, if nothing else, falling apart, I would be. But can we have maybe a report next time on what the heck is happening? How come all the reasons, or maybe reasons why?
An update on at the November 10th meeting
Yes.
on all the statistics
I
and
don't know what
I
else.
will say this, because I don't know if you guys are aware, you might be, but you know, I believe October 24th is the date set for interviews for NS1.
For those 34 that passed the test that shows on here,
The 29.
there's 21, said 34, so.
I know. But some of them already have part-time jobs.
Oh.
So,
It's been too long and they've been waiting.
well, they work for us part-time. They want full-time hours. So they're not gonna take a part-time job. They're already in a part-time job.
But there's 29.
So there's 29 eligibles that we have to contact to interview on the 24th. But as one of the statistics, I will tell you, we did open and continuous July and August, and we tested in July, and we interviewed the few that made the list. As you know, we did the interviews before school, actually, the end of July, we did the interviews.
Janice hired 3 people.
Yeah, 4 people, well, 4 and 1, yeah. And then, so we kept it open. We had 60 applications, 40 screened in. We set 2 dates for testing, 20 seats, 20 seats. 11 showed for the first test, and 4 showed for the second test.
Oh my God. Are they expecting to just be handed these jobs?
That's my frustration. I get your frustration. I totally get your frustration. But that's my frustration. And this is open, and so we're reopening it again. I mean, short of, and I'll say this, I'll make a poster and go put it on all the businesses in downtown Barstow with a QR code that says, hey, take this picture and go straight to EdJoin and fill it out. That's at least something we can do.
But
I
that's
know that.
another thing. The people.
But will they
prefer to
screen
go
in?
to-
I don't know. Do they have food handlers cards? I don't know. That's all part of the process.
Yeah, but
Okay.
they prefer to go to work somewhere else because they pay better than here.
I understand that.
McDonald's pay better than this too.
Yes, Tammy.
I have one more question, and I don't mean to be wreaking havoc, but the food workers retest is what day?
25th.
The
At
25th
9 o'clock.
at 9 a.m.
Right, when people are serving.
That,
Breakfast time.
Is that for the NS1? Or for
no,
the
the,
two? Oh,
the three.
the three.
And we have workers from sites that are applying for that job,
Mhm.
so they're not gonna be there for lunch.
3
The
from
people from the kitchen are applying for that job, they're not gonna be there to prep.
Have you guys emailed the testing coordinator and asked to set up a second test time?
Can it be,
No,
can it be like a 2 o'clock or
because
1 o'clock?
it doesn't make sense that
If they
you
ask,
test.
if they're working and they ask for a retest before the test, I have to accommodate that.
Okay, but the frustration is, when you know you have food service workers that
Working.
are working during that time, and we have to feed those kids, and we don't have any subs, and that's not a secret. Everybody knows it. So a test is scheduled in the time we're gonna have to feed kids. I mean, that doesn't make sense. They shouldn't have to call and say, oh, can you reschedule my test because I'm working? Oh, well, you get paid to take a test during your work time. That's what they're told.
I know.
Because everyone that's gonna take this test,
I'm gonna be there and I'm cooking and she's gonna be by herself. That's another thing.
So I guess,
So
I don't know what that day will happen.
So my question is, and I'm gonna throw this out there, guys. I can set tests anytime. I can set tests on Saturdays. I can set tests at 5 o'clock in the evening.
We don't mind, as long as it's not work time.
Well, but that's the thing, you are allowed to test during work. I understand there's not enough people to sub to be able to get people.
Yeah, I was gonna
released
say,
to
if
go
we have the
test,
subs, then we could do that.
okay?
Well,
I just need to know that
when
if
they
I
do
set a
that,
test for a Saturday or after work, that I'll have people show. I mean, I already don't have people showing when they can show, because they don't
Just
even
do
work.
it at 2 o'clock and everybody's
Yeah,
free.
people will be fine at 2 o'clock.
Everybody's free
It's
at
the
2
law
o'clock.
department.
Yeah.
Okay.
She wants to know.
Because if everybody's done
I
that.
was, but she answered my question.
She answered, okay, thank you. Anybody, Rebecca?
Yeah, I didn't want to step on anybody's toes because I am not a food service worker. But the thing that I want to emphasize and get into the record, which I think everybody understands, but maybe you don't feel it viscerally, is that the people who work 3.5, 3.25, 3.75 hours a day to feed our kids do it out of love. They do it purely out of love because there is no financial incentive to do that.
You got that right.
So one thing I just want to emphasize is that when Deborah says that she works from morning to lunch, that means that she's not getting paid for a couple hours in between, that she's still working, because the way food service schedule is that they have a morning shift, they're supposed to break, then they have a lunch shift, and in that time, they're not only supposed to prep and feed the kids and clean up and sanitize, they're supposed to do all that within 3.25 hours when they have 600 elementary school kids that have walked through that line in that
Plus
cafeteria.
their paperwork.
And their paperwork. So one thing the union stands by is the fact that we don't want our people working when they're not getting paid, because that is not fair to them. But these people work all the time without getting paid, without getting comp time, without getting anything on a yellow card, because they know that if they don't, a kid will suffer. And I am a bleeding heart. I cry at every Hallmark commercial that ever comes on. Also the Budweiser commercials during the football game. I cry and cry and cry. But I want them to harden their hearts and say, stop working when you're not getting paid. But I'll tell you right now, if that happens, we're gonna have to shake up the whole place. These people are gonna need more hours to actually get done what the state of California requires of them. It is frustrating to hear how frustrated they are. And I'm not in that situation. And I don't have to look at little Johnny who doesn't get breakfast at home, so the only time he gets to eat is when he sees this nice lady standing behind the counter. And that's why they do what they do. And that's why they should be more appreciated than they are. That's why they should be paid more than they are. That's why they should get more hours than they have. Okay, thank you.
Thank you. And then we don't take breaks. We're supposed to get a 15-minute break. We don't take it sometimes. I don't know what is that, because we don't take it anymore.
There's no time for it.
There's no time for it, because we have to rush to do it.
And then you're breaking the law of California.
Okay,
We're
everyone,
supposed to call
Labor
labor
law.
commission.
Okay, guys. Anybody else? I want to give everybody an opportunity.
I just want to say two things. Hold on, sorry.
Go ahead.
But so because we are, and I know this is not about being paid or anything, but because we're only 3.75, and a lot of us have to work second jobs just to make ends meet. All the prices are going up in the economy, and we're still getting paid the same, and people at McDonald's are making more than us. But I like my job. I love serving the kids, but because of my financial problems, not that I have a lot of problems, but I have to pay for school. I gotta pay. I'm trying to better myself, but I can't go anywhere in this department. And I love feeding the kids. Those kids don't get food at home. You can tell. These kids live in hotels. It's sad. It's really sad of what these kids go through. And sometimes this is the only meal they get. And they don't eat over the weekend. They don't eat. They wait till they get to school. And I'm looking for other jobs because this job isn't paying enough. And I don't get enough hours. And having a split shift is like the crappiest shift. I'm sorry to say it. It's not a good shift. I have coworkers that would love to help out, but they don't want to do the split shift. They like their shift that they have, so they're not gonna come out and help because they're not gonna get extra time. They're not, no, you're gonna take the other person's split shift. Oh, that sucks, I'm not gonna do that. So they're not gonna, that's another thing that is frustrating, but they don't wanna take the split shift because they wanna keep the full shift that they have. So that's my 2 cents.
Yes, ma'am.
You are all welcome to come to any of these schools' kitchens, main kitchens, to see what we go through, honestly. And see how we have to get these children through. Yes, we want to say, how you doing, Johnny? Well, we can't. We just say, hi, good morning, and oh, hi, good afternoon, and enjoy your lunch. It's really hard to talk to. You all need to come and see what we do. You do, honestly.
But we're still back to, 40 people on the list.
Oh, I understand that, but you're still invited to come and,
Oh, yeah,
to come and,
Yeah,
come on and see these kids.
And the pandemic was, we need help. The district people went down there from the office, I remember.
2 of them.
But they never come back because they ended so tired because it's way too much.
Oh, another 2 cents.
Only department work.
6 cents. 6 cents. I meant sorry at 10 cents. But is there a way to change the? I don't know how this all works, but nobody wants to take a job that pays $15 when McDonald's is paying $16 or $17. Is there any way to change? Or I know that could probably be a lot of money, but is there any way to change the job situation? Or adding more hours or adding more pay? Or is that a different? Am I asking too much?
That's an item we have to bring to the negotiating table, so.
that's right.
Okay.
Negotiations.
It goes from.
What about reclass? How does that work?
You can request a reclass.
Are you talking about reclass or you're talking about
Like
a,
our department
like a whole
reclass?
department?
Because I know there was a conversation.
Are you talking about a salary survey for the entire department or a reclassification?
Oh, no, not the
job
entire.
description.
Yeah.
The department.
Salary, yeah. Okay. More like a salary,
A salary, right,
evaluation type
a
of a
salary
thing.
survey.
There you
For
go.
our department, we are
That's-
lowest on the totem pole. And we have so much training we have to do, and it's horse crap. Sorry.
That's nice.
That's something that
Gotta be pairs.
the labor
Team,
team can
bring to the table.
bring to the table.
Okay. In the meantime, you're getting tired.
Yeah.
They're tired of working.
I'm a
Hey,
custodian, Matt Meinhardt. I feel that there should be compensation. We are covering all these extra jobs. We are saving the district many salary dollars, and they need to share the love. And it would make things a lot more easier for these ladies to come back to work if they were getting some appreciation. I see them crying in the kitchen. I see them basically about to pull their hair out as they're walking out the door, saying they don't want to work here, this place, because it's just sheer frustration. And this has been a persistent problem for years now. And I've been all over, and I've said it all over to all kinds of administrators and everything else, that we are getting stretched so thin, and we're always asked to do more. We're never asked to do less. We're never given any extra kind of compensation. I think as far as for me, maintenance, they let us go like an hour early on Thanksgiving, before Thanksgiving break. That's about it. Christmas break, maybe 2, but that's really it. And I know that all the extra COVID money that the district's getting, all the salary dollars that they're saving, and when the teachers have to take on more students, they get paid more money. There's no reason that there shouldn't be some kind of compensation for us right now with what we're all doing. So, to the district, to our CSEA, to you guys, everybody should know that.
Thank you.
Can you ask a question? So, Mr. Gutierrez, if someone takes on more students, they get more pay?
Certificated contract is part of the language of the certificated contract, yes.
You're not good for them. It's just not
You're not
also for
I have a question.
Yes,
I don't know who it is. You invited us to come and you also asked for volunteers.
Are we allowed? We're not allowed?
If they're, to visit, you are,
Okay.
but you have to get, you can't help them serve, because they need the food handlers. Yeah, so that's part of the issue too.
But coming to
The
watch.
district personnel can't just go over there. We're not allowed to.
Even our substitute teachers are getting paid more because they're so short-staffed there as well. So to incentivize people to help cover the teaching staff, our district has raised their daily pay.
If they sub in a class during their prep period or something like that, you're absolutely right, they get paid.
No, they're getting paid now more per day than they were last school year.
Yeah, the per diem went up.
And if they get more kids, they don't get paid for that. It's still, they get paid the same.
Guys, this is not a debate on certificated versus classified.
No.
And those are
But it's
negotiable.
just to back what I'm saying about compensation, that's
And
all.
those-
No.
and those are
I'm not trying to
negotiable
say,
things.
yeah.
Right. Those are negotiable items for the table.
So when we open it up for negotiable items for next year.
Yeah, we're putting that
Bring
on.
that in, yeah.
You had your hand up one more time.
I think I would have a solution. I don't know if this would be a great idea, but maybe everyone could take the food handlers class that everyone that gets hired. Wouldn't that be a great solution?
You mean like?
It's only about like
administration certificated class.
yeah, like everybody that comes on board, like you're all certified.
Question, back in the day when she started 25 years ago and I started 23 years ago, the district used to pay for our fingerprints.
They still, well, no.
They don't do it anymore.
But it's not the same cost as it would be out in town at a live scan site.
I understand that, and it might be one of the reasons why people aren't wanting to spend that money to do that, because they don't know if they're gonna have that job. Do you understand? And that's why they're wanting a job, because they don't have any
That's
money.
not been, I'll be honest, that has not been my observation of people.
That's with anybody,
Yeah. Could be.
No.
No, people you've talked to, but maybe we're thinking maybe that too. How
But
come the district
That,
doesn't?
to get to that point, they have to get on the eligibility list.
Okay, well, why doesn't the district pay for fingerprints anymore?
That's not an answer for me.
Because they
Every
used to.
district I've been at, I've always paid. And I've been in public education since 1999. Every school district I paid for my fingerprints.
As a teacher, I paid here too.
I do as well.
We didn't pay
Let me
for
tell
ours,
you.
we brought it back.
That was 1,000 years ago, Tammy.
I know. I know, but she was here a long time too, so.
No, I've been in school districts in the state of California since 1999. And I paid for my fingerprints in every single one.
Yeah.
So it's not every school district does that.
Right.
And if they did it here, they did it like way before me, because I started here
25 years ago.
in 2020, so.
So as maybe an incentivizing idea, throw it out. And
Put it
also
on
the
the
agenda, say you'll pay for fingerprints, maybe we'll get more people in.
That's not the role of the commission, though. That's an employer responsibility. Which I'm sure he's gonna
I'm
have,
listening.
that's it, he's listening.
He's taking
Are there
notes.
one more comment? Yes.
My name is Samantha Contrell. I work with Nutrition Services Main Kitchen. I'm the lead there. Because we're so short-staffed, our food product has gone less and less quality to prepackaged food. When we're fully staffed or have help in the kitchen, we can actually produce higher quality food that the kids will enjoy more and have enjoyed more. But because we're so short-staffed, we have gone to prepackaged food, which they don't enjoy as much. So our goal is to try and get them better quality food with the staffing that we're asking for.
Good job.
Thank you.
Thank you, Samantha.
Anybody else?
We can talk all night.
I know.
I want to summarize here, guys. I will be taking all of this will all be in the minutes at the next meeting. And Commissioner Stoops, I will be putting together a presentation. I don't know that it's statistics. It'll just be the statistics on the recruitments and testing and how many people, make it all the way to the point where they start working, how many people become subs, how many people get hired, and so on and so on. But do understand, we're going to be calling to set up 29 people for interviews for those. There's 15 NS1 vacancies, and all 29 are going to get contacted to find out if they want to work. But I know one of the more recent interviews we were calling on was for para-educator, part-time, 3.5 para-educators. we went through our entire list and we got one person. People want full-time jobs, and we don't have full-time jobs. You guys, of all people you guys know, when you get into public education, you're usually starting out part-time, and it takes a while to get to those full-time benefited positions. The people that are applying right now, especially with gas up, they don't want to drive 30 miles from Victorville to come in here to work. So the target area is here for the majority, hopefully to find people, and I know that, okay? But it's hard because people want the full-time work, or the benefited work at least, so.
I have a question. How often can you run, like, the jobs? Like, how often?
Open and continuous. I had it open continuous from all through July and August. We closed it because we thought we had a decent eligibility list, but we didn't. A lot of those people turned out to not be able, some of those people did try to become subs.
Right.
They didn't quit. So then we're going to reopen it so that we can try to get more people in.
May I add something? Some of them did not clear their fingerprints either. So
Right.
So that's why I said,
that's why I have to.
I appreciate that.
Thank you.
And I'm very,
Which they
I
paid
have to
for.
hold that hard line with,
Which they paid to fail.
I have a question then, or maybe just an observation if you can clarify. So when you keep a job open and continuous, the point is to get as many people as you can.
Right.
But also the drawback to that is when you keep it open and continuous, you don't have like a close date to get moving on the next part, right?
Well, no, we bring in the applications like once a month and screen them. And then set that test up, and we just leave the recruitment open, and we cut off, the applications and set the test up.
Okay.
Or in some cases, technically, we close the recruitment and reopen it the next day, so that we have those applications done, and we reopen it. But it's open and continuous because less than 24 hours from.
Okay, I see, but the opening continues, does it keep the position open and unable to progress to the testing and all
No,
this and all of that?
yeah, we tested actually we tested in June, we tested in July, we tested in September.
And there's just not getting interviews?
Keep in mind, your director left.
I know.
There was no manager down there. There's no manager down there.
Okay.
But we're paying someone to be the manager.
No, but he's still not supervisory capable.
But they get paid as one.
He's handling all of the paperwork and all of that. There still has to be an actual manager down there for the interviews.
So I know that's a whole thing, but let's say we had a manager. How, like, what's the process between testing and interviews? How long does it?
The actual timelines,
Mhm.
recruitments have to stay open for at least 3 weeks, 20 or 15 work days. Okay, there's usually a 2-week span once something closes or when we shut to screen applications.
Right.
Because we have to go in and screen, and it takes 2 people to screen.
Yeah, I know.
I have 2 in my staff because it takes 2 people to say, yes, they're qualified. If one person says they are and the other person says they're not, then it comes to me as a tiebreaker,
Okay.
okay? But if they both have to say yes, if they both say no, the person doesn't screen in.
Okay.
So once we know who's screened in, we look to see what's available for testing. Do we have the SDC available for testing? So we look at the schedule of the district office for the SDC because the computers are there, everything's there, it's all set up. So we set the test, and if we have more than 20 people, we need at least 2 testing seats, 20 people per test. And that's post-pandemic, because during pandemic, we were lucky if we could get 10 in there.
So sad.
So once you get the test done, then you get the scores and you send out the results, you create the eligibility list, and we merge it. We're constantly merging it, because that's what the list is that's on there today is a merged list. But we're also asking for the subs, and when between doing all of that, they're doing onboarding between subs and onboarding for staff and making sure everybody's on the board. And, it's just some of the stuff they're doing. But the timeline, I used to put a timeline together in both my other districts. The average for a recruitment to eligibility list, not recruitment to hire, recruitment
Right.
to eligibility
And
list
I know there's like,
is could be as much as 3 months. Average to hire for a vacancy, up to 6 or more.
Oh, that's ridiculous.
wow.
There's no way to change that.
Well, it's a process.
Whether you're a merit system or not, it still takes time to get people to get selected, get onboarded, pass everything, and start. from vacancy to
They got
onboard.
jobs for time in already.
So, with all of your experience,
That's why we don't.
for all the years, what can we do to bring people on?
It isn't so much, I'm gonna say two things.
Okay.
Tell your friends, watch for the recruitments, but make sure they know what they're in for. Is that a turnoff? Sure it is. You guys work hard, and it's a thankless job most of the time, okay? But at the same time, it can be worth their while. If there's somebody who's got kids in a school and they wanna work, tell them to watch out for it, but they need their food handler's card. They need to be able to pass the test, and it's an entry-level basic nutrition workers test.
Right.
It's not a hard test.
No.
I've lowered the scores for it, so,
Okay,
because we need the bodies.
I know we do. We really do.
And if they're looking for benefits, they need to be able to stick it out to get benefits, because it's gonna take a while to promote to get up into some of the higher classes that have the longer hours.
Right, but the whole point is at least you have a foot in the door.
Right, and subbing gets them in the door as well.
Okay. So we really need to, okay.
Director Jewell?
Yes,
Just to go back, you said a lady test at 9:00 in the morning. By them telling you, can you change it from what they say, or does that lady still have
I
to
have to
tell
look
you?
to see what else is available down the line, because, yeah, that means we won't be able to test that day. So we have to push it off and find another time when the SDC is available. After hours, or at least, yeah. Because
When will they know then? When you're,
probably sometime next week, we'll probably have to send it out saying the test will be canceled.
But it sounded like 2 to 3 o'clock is a
Yes,
reasonable time, so that's what we ought to shoot for, I think.
and I have to see when the SDC is available.
No, I understand.
Even
that
one,
too.
even one is okay. We can close down.
Girls at the school, that's not so easy.
That's not
There's
easy.
Oh, really?
Right.
Elementary, they're all at 1:15, 1:20.
Some of them are still
Just a
meeting at
suggestion,
1 o'clock.
I mean, I don't know that canceling the 9:00 test time in Lakewood.
And I probably won't.
Right, so then that way,
I'll probably set up a
people might have
second
already
test.
made the arrangements to be there for the 9:00. But to have the two options of a morning and an afternoon
Exactly.
for those that, like you said, those that aren't district employed and are outside and
No,
not
this-
working and can make a 9:00, and then you've got for the afternoon for those that are district employed and can maybe do the
I
afternoon.
really hate when I don't know something in my office.
Sorry.
I thought that was promotional only.
Yeah,
I thought it was.
they're not going outside.
I
Yeah,
think it's promotional.
so it's just.
Oh, so
in
we're,
front.
oh, yeah, I wasn't sure where we
Yeah.
were, what,
Well, the way you were talking, I was like,
are we any, so if it's all promotional and nobody's gonna be able to make it, then yeah, but I would, yeah.
Because we're all working at that time.
We will have some
Because
that'll
it's a
say,
three,
oh, I'll just come during my work time, they can find someone else to fill in for me. We
Right.
do have some of those.
right.
and that's why I will probably leave it and try to set a second time for everybody.
Thank you.
Anything else, ladies and gentlemen?
Right. For the ones that
Thank you
wanna
for your
reach
time.
That's why I wanted to agendize this, because if I hadn't have agendized it, it would have just been public comments. And if you understand the meetings, if it's public comments, the commissioners really are not allowed to respond. Okay, when it's agendized, it's an open time frame. It's an open forum for you guys to have your say and for them to ask questions. Okay? So, I understand your frustration, I do.
Well, thank you.
If y'all wanna come look at the crazy that we're dealing with, you're more than welcome.
I've actually been, trust me, guys,
I know you have.
I've been around. I've seen how crazy it can get, especially when you guys were working your butts off during the pandemic.
Well, I wish the whole district up here could say that about us, you know?
I really applaud you guys for standing up. I mean, I saw Montero because I live in the trailer park, but you guys in the morning, man, you were out there and handing out food, and that was amazing. Wow.
Putting our lives.
And I had mentioned that to Mr. Malin, I mean, of all the people during the pandemic, different groups, everybody did a great job. I told him that, food service was the one that did, in my opinion, from what I saw, the best. And when I saw what you got compensated for, with that COVID money, I
Thank
said,
you.
oh my, I don't want to hear what I said.
Yeah.
I was not happy,
Don't
but,
complain, you got a lot to hear from
yeah.
Yeah.
I know, but yeah, we fed the students.
Okay.
Are you good? Okay, so to recap, I will have another item next month with some more statistics and stuff, but, okay.
Thank you for explaining.
Guys,
Thank you for listening to us.
6033 is my extension.
Okay.
And I know I might not always be in the office, and I honestly, I do not have voicemail.
You're smart.
I've asked for it, trust me, I'm not sure what is up with that. But, that being said, guys, keep calling and try and get me, tell the girls, hey, I wanna talk to Patty, okay?
I'll yell at Greg. We'll just yell up the hill.
Well, it helps to understand the process too, but it's longer than we thought.
Yeah.
And statistically speaking, not everybody, they kind of qualifies legal going.
There's a lot of people though that say that for a food worker one, how can you not qualify for an entry level job? I applied and they told me I'm not qualified. I said, I don't know, I don't know.
What's the biggest qualification?
A food handler's card.
Bingo.
But they said they had it, but they said they were not qualified because it was their.
And if someone tells you that, if anyone says, they said I wasn't qualified, they have the right to appeal that. They have the right to appeal
I
that.
told them they needed to call Julie or Maria. Is
They
what I
need to
told them.
appeal it. They need to send an email that says, I appeal this.
Okay, that's good to know.
Because then it bumps up to me.
It's like kids fresh out of high school that are looking for work, you know, that are going to college and need a little something. It's their first job. And they're saying they're being told they don't qualify.
They need to appeal
It's an entry level job.
they need to appeal, if they're disqualified, they need to appeal. Okay, guys, we're gonna move the meeting forward. I wanna thank you for your time.
Thank you,
Thank
guys.
you.
Thank you.
Okay, moving on,
What?
discussion of information item 8, first reading of 2021-2022 Personnel Commission Annual Report draft, moving it from first reading to second reading. Any discussion on it? Any questions on it? Okay. Last item there, the CSBCA Annual Conference, save the date. Any questions on that?
Can I get just a general poll with regards to Commissioner Brindle, are you interested in going?
Yeah. You might, there's this meeting that we're talking about now, it's on the agenda. It's in, I think it's January, right?
Well, this is the conference.
Oh, this is conference. Oh,
This is the conference.
yeah, the conference.
Yearly conference.
That you want to go. I went to it one time, I
This is
didn't
just to
go any
save the
other
date.
times.
It's to save the date. Did you get a copy of the agenda? Okay.
Yeah, so it's well worth it.
Yes, it is.
You been?
It is.
I've been to.
Oh, you been?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, matter of fact, we all together.
The three of us went. It was, oh, and Julie.
And Julie.
Yeah.
It was, it's very informative.
What are we talking about?
The commissioners conference, it's definitely very informative.
And the Merit Academy when you get around to it.
When I don't know.
When it resurfaces. When it
Yeah.
resurfaces.
Okay, moving on to the consent list. We can enact these all at once. We've got 8 alpha, approve the minutes of the August 11th, 2022 regular meeting. That'll just be Ms. Stoops and myself. Look for a motion a second to approve that one.
Agree.
And I second it. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay, looking at the last 3, 8, Bravo, ratified eligibility list, grounds maintenance worker, ratified merge eligibility list, nutritional worker or nutritional service worker 1, and ratified the merge eligibility list, paraeducator, English language learner. Looking for a motion and a second on that, those 3 items.
I motion that we approve them.
Say that again?
I motion that
Okay.
we approve them.
That was second.
Second.
Okay, do we have any discussions on any of those individual items? Okay, hearing none, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Passed 3-0. No conference items or no action items this time, no closed session this time. Adjournment, there being no further business to come before the commission, it is recommended that the meeting be adjourned. Looking to adjourn the meeting at 5:29. There's a motion and second.
5:59? 5:29, I'm sorry, pardon me.
5:29. Yeah. Do I have a motion and a second?
Second.
Second, okay, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
It's closed at 5:29.
It probably won't be as exciting.
I thought they're all.